Hello and welcome to Future Perfect Tech Shorts. I'm Tony Velasquez. Filipinos have become increasingly aware of the practical uses of technology in preparing for and responding to disasters. Many agencies are now supporting the development of apps that could someday become life-saving tools in times of calamities. The U.S. Agency for International Development, for one, recently partnered with Globe Labs, the World Food Program, the Google Developers Group, and Open Data Philippines to hold what was dubbed as the Tech for Resilience Week. Among the events that were held, a two-day hackathon entitled Redisaster, Hack for Resilience, an App Developers Challenge, and a so-called Tech Camp. And with us on Future Perfect are the developers of the winning apps designed during the first Philippine Tech Camp held in the early part of May. And we're joined by Joseph Dio of Team Fans of Cat Paddy, and we will explain why the team is called that way. Theodore Gonzalez of Team DE, and this is the reason why there's a Team Fans of Cat Paddy, Cat Padilla of Team, and Vice Ganda would be proud for me to say this, Mumpanes. I don't know what's even more creative, the apps or the team names. Well, thank you very much for joining me on Future Perfect tonight. So let's begin first with your experiences in this hackathon. How did you guys get to be part of it? Let's begin with the lady, Kat.
We just registered and then joined because I saw it on Facebook and then, yeah.
First, a little background on each of you personally. Are you still studying?
No, I'm currently employed as a software developer.
You're a software developer. All right. And for Team DE, Theodore, what are you doing now?
I'm actually a civil engineer and I'm employed as a software engineer in a software company.
All right. And Mumpanes, I'm sorry, not Mumpanes, Team Fans of Cat Paddy, Joseph, what are you doing now?
So I'm currently a mobile developer for a company in Makati. I also do web development as well.
So fantastic. So all of you are actually all creatively employed, and your companies all allowed you to join this hackathon anyway. With the theme of this tech camp being resilience against disasters, what particular app did your team develop? Let's begin with Kat.
Yeah. Our app, it monitors rainfall amount and slope displacement. Okay. So basically, it will display data in such a way that LGUs will easily understand it at a glance.
Okay. You're talking about slope displacement. Are you referencing areas that are particularly vulnerable to landslides?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what it is. Okay. Now the app itself would rely on what system of monitoring?
Our app was designed to be extensible and flexible, and it's a little generic. It's actually an endpoint, so as long as someone's giving us data, it will work.
As long as someone is giving you data?
Or another system is giving us data.
Okay. Are you talking about the system that currently Project NOAA is using?
That's possible.
It's possible.
It's a potential agency that can give us info.
Okay. Now, how do you gather the data itself? Because you have to rely, I guess, on physical monitoring systems, no? Or physical sensors.
Actually, they already have these kinds of data, but these are given to the LGUs as raw data, so they can't easily interpret or understand. So what we basically did is we let them understand these things.
Okay. How is the data formatted or presented in a way that the LGUs can easily understand it?
it's a graph, a real-time graph that
Okay.
I can show you.
Sure. I think we'll, I don't know if we can bring it up on the screen or we can just have the camera zoom in on Kat's laptop. So it's a graph.
Yeah, it's a graph, and then there are triggers where they can see if the amount is at critical level.
The amount of
For example, rainfall.
rainfall. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you're showing. This is actually a map of what area?
Amulong.
Amulong
This
is
well, these are all dummy data for now.
dummy data. Okay,
Yeah.
Amulong is a fictional place. Sorry.
It's a real place.
That's a real place. There you go. Naguguluhan ako. Maybe like team fans of Cat Paddy is not fictional. Amulong is fictional. Okay, so it's a
Okay.
fictional place, and so you put in theoretical
Data.
variables or
Yeah.
data.
So this is running at 3-second interval to show
Updating itself every 3 seconds.
Okay. To show that it is real time, but
Yeah.
in real life, I think they said that it gives info every 30 minutes.
Every 30 minutes lang. And then you mentioned, apart from the rainfall amount, would be the slope displacement, and that's also graphed. Yung slope
Yes.
displacement, then are you talking about movement, soil movement?
Soil movement.
Soil movement. So kung parang medyo gumagalaw na yung lupa, it will tell you by at what rate.
They have to give us the threshold, so we'll display them if it's at
So
critical
parang
level.
you'll have to rely on like agencies like the Mines and Geosciences Bureau to also give you that
PVOX,
stuff,
yeah.
or PVOX. All right, so and before we move on to the other apps, just so that the audience will know what Kat's team came up with, the name of the app is
Kuwago.
Kuwago. And why is it Kuwago?
Well, basically because of an owl's characteristics.
An owl, which is?
Eyesight, it's awake at night, so this monitors even at night.
Okay, so parang laging alerto.
Like, always alert. Yeah.
Kuwago, okay. Bakit hindi bantay? Ang tawag na yan. Let's prefer owls to dogs, shall we? All right, so Team DE, so Theodore, tell us about your app.
Okay. Most of the time, we think we are prepared for calamities by buying goods, equipment, or supplies, or
Stocking up.
yes, or by preparing our families where to go during the calamity or what to do.
Yeah.
But we don't really check if our shelter is prepared for it.
You mean your house?
Yeah, your house.
Okay.
So we
This is where the civil engineer in you comes in.
so we made a mobile application that will help in assessing the structural integrity of existing infrastructures.
Ah, okay. How do you do that?
But it's simply just a survey. It's like a checklist
Checklist lang.
of different hazards because
Okay.
there are different factors affecting the structural integrity of structures, but we tried to divide it into different hazards
Okay.
and make it as simple as possible so the surveyors will be able to use it easily.
Okay. Now, let's explain what we're showing on the screen, because there's a checklist, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
All right. So, the checklist shows you basically what?
So again, I have told you that there
The
are
different
different factors
factors.
affecting the structural integrity. So
Yeah.
those are the hazards that we made it simple so the surveyor can easily answer these simple questions
Okay.
by yes or no and
Parang bandila lang, yes or no. Okay.
and simple inputs. But we can still customize it for the needs of Iloilo and Cagayan de Oro.
Ah, so geo-specific, yung mga ibang categories. Because as we were showing on the screen a while ago, there are certain categories like a fire hazard, diba?
Yes.
Earthquake hazard,
Yes.
diba? And all of those. So, when you go through the checklist and finally, when you've answered it, when the homeowner finishes answering the checklist,
Yes.
how will it assess kung ano yung structural preparedness?
So after you have answered everything,
Yeah.
when you click done, you will go back to the first view and there's a rectangular button there.
Yeah.
So when
Let's
you
bring it up on your laptop, because since you have it anyway there. Let's bring it up on your laptop and show us how you actually go through it. Okay.
so
So that's the splash screen,
After answering
the checklist.
the checklist
Yep.
we've seen earlier,
Yep.
you can simply click this
The box.
rectangular button.
Okay.
Yes, and it will give you a link. This link you can send it to professionals or to your friend.
Send
And
it to your friend.
yes, well, it's
So
real
if
purpose
my
is
friend
for
were
the
Janet
profession.
Lim Napoles, I'd ask her, hey, could you assess whether my house is in danger of crumbling under the weight of all that pork? Anyway.
Yeah. And so when you try to open the link,
Okay.
it will show you a detailed narrative report. This was developed by my partner Justin Cudale.
I see. All right. So, for example, when you're showing that the structure has been assessed vis-a-vis the water hazards, construction hazards, time hazards. What does time hazard mean? Kung minadali yung pag-construct?
No.
How old the structure is?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just called it time hazard.
Eh, yung
for
crack
the-
hazard, kung gaano karaming smoking crack.
Yeah, for the crack hazard.
Oh, no, that's not what it means. Kung medyo may bitak-bitak na yung mga ano.
Yeah, we want the surveyor to check the house for cracks and take the pictures.
Okay. Kasi baka ihipin ng PNP narcotics ka man, parang crack hazard, maraming crack users dyan sa loob ng bahay na. Anyway, so you send the link to your friend or a professional who
Yeah.
can make an assessment.
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. So, that happens, how fast do you get the feedback kung ganun?
Which one?
The feedback from your friend or the professional
It depends on the
on their response time.
yeah.
then?
But the important thing is that we can collect the data immediately and send it
So
into
this
a
is
server.
before a disaster strikes.
Yes.
So anytime you can assess it, maybe in preparation for a storm or an earthquake,
Yes. So we can make the needed adjustments to the house.
retrofitting.
Yes. Retrofitting.
All right, moving on to the stalkers, the teams of the fans of Cat Paddy. All right, the app name is AirPat. Did you name that in honor of your dad?
Well, it actually means electronic registry for permit assessment and tracking.
It's an acronym. Why didn't I think of that? Okay, AirPat, electronic registry
For permit
for
assessment
permit
and tracking.
assessment tracking. Yes. And if you were going to come out with a counterpart app, electronic registry for materials and tracking, AirMat. Okay, I thought of that. All right, let's talk about AirPat. Why do you need to keep track of the materials? I mean, of the permits. Yeah.
All right. So basically, our goal is to streamline the process of applying for a building permit. So we wanted to eliminate the red tape that happens, like filling up forms, having too many people involved in the process.
Okay.
So using this system, applicants can go to the city hall or
Yeah.
via the internet, since we have a website,
Yeah.
and they can apply for a building permit there. So we use technologies like Google Maps, so you can specify the exact
The location.
Yeah, and then you just fill up the form, and it will generate a form so that you can easily process the location clearance.
Okay. Now, Joseph, you gotta explain why red tape in the application of construction permits would be considered an app to prepare you for disasters.
The problem is, since there's red tape, it takes time to get building permits approved, and the problem with that is, since it takes time, there might be anomalies, and people get
Shortcutting
to
the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one major cause of disaster is building in the wrong area. So some people can get permits even if it's not allowed. So with this system, we also map out the
geohazard area.
Yeah, the geohazard area. So like clicking on the map itself, we place an overlay that indicates which is a commercial area only, residential area only.
Yeah.
So even before the applicant can figure it out, we also do it for like the administrator, the ones who approve it. They can also easily find out.
Now, I'm gonna ask all three of you, how do you think your apps can sort of correlate to one another? I mean, I can see, for example, the Team DE, because it's looking at the structural integrity of a particular place, coming after you've already built it, right? So kung kunwari, you got the construction permit through the AirPat app, and you finally built it, and then you check for structural integrity after. And then once you've done that, titingnan mo na ngayon kung guguho na yung lupa na pinagtitirikan mo. Look at the sequence of that. Did I just say that? Okay. Do you think they all correlate, all your apps?
Yeah, I think in a sense we can somehow integrate our apps, have a central system where, we can, our apps
Parang
can
ano siya, no?
communicate.
Parang it's a series of steps.
Yeah.
First, make sure you got your construction permits issued properly without
Yes.
any under-the-table deals. And then make sure that your structure, when it's put up, is actually structurally sound. And then make sure that when you're there, you're protected against these kinds of variables. All right, well, fantastic. Did you guys win anything? You're not allowed to say?
A grant.
Are you under like a gag order? Or what did you win?
So we there's a grant from USAID.
I see.
Yes.
Okay, that's where USAID comes in.
Yeah.
So they're funding more projects for you, or to work on your apps.
Yeah. So they give us a grant so that we can complete the app and work with the LGU so that we can help them.
Okay. So in particular, do you choose which LGUs you want to partner with?
Actually, they provided certain LGUs that needs these things.
Certain
So,
LGUs have been
yeah.
identified na. Hackathon, you'll actually get real-time experience working with the LGUs and making your apps as practical as possible to address the real-time or real-life scenarios that the LGUs will have to prepare for. All right, well, congratulations to the three of you. Kat Padilla, team, I want you to be the one to say it. Say it like Vice Ganda would say it.
Team Mumanes.
Mumanes.
Yes.
I thought it was Mumpanes. Okay, Mumanes. Ikaw talaga, ha? Nyonyoko mo.
I would also like to
Yes.
say that I didn't,
You didn't?
build this alone.
Oh,
I have
yes.
a partner,
You have a team.
Mark Steve Samson.
Hi, Mark Steve Sampson. Where are you? All right. Anyway, Mark Steve Sampson. Anyway, Theodore, thanks very much. DE, Team DE. What is DE?
It's actually for dynamic engineers because
Dynamic engineers.
my partner Justin is a psychology graduate and I'm a civil engineer. So we are actually not computer engineers, but we are trying to use different technologies for solving problems.
Well, kudos to you that you actually applied whatever skills you have to get this far, this competition. And also to the Stalker Group, the team fans of Kat Padi. Joseph, thanks very much for coming over, for showing us all the great apps that you developed for the Tech Camp. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
And we have to take a short break. When we return, our friends from LG Philippines will give us a first-hand look at their newest Ultra HD Smart 3D TV. And we're not saying Mumpanes for anything. Future Perfect Tech Shorts will be right back.